get a berry rich regular with oat milk. And could I add whey as well? Okay, I lied. I didn't go to a coffee shop. It was a juicery. But you know what? Coffee shop works better for a title. All of that is simply semantics though, because the essence of the topic remains intact, which is that yes, I indeed try to play the newly released remake of one of Bethesda's most iconic games, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, developed by Virtuos, on ultra settings on my Logitech G Cloud via Nvidia GeForce Now, on public Wi-Fi. And it went somewhat fine, kind of. If you've read or watched my piece on how I spent this past winter traveling with the G Cloud, you'll know how much I love this device and praise its capabilities, even in less than ideal circumstances, like while on a train or on subpar hotel Wi-Fi. I've used the G Cloud on public Wi-Fi multiple times, either for remote playing on my PS5 or cloud gaming using services like GeForce Now and Boosteroid, all with varying degrees of success. Unfortunately, this was one of those instances where my experience was less than stellar. A quick speed test showed that the Wi-Fi speeds at the juicery were definitely not the best, putting up paltry numbers below 20 megabytes per second. Yikes. As such, when I tried booting up Oblivion, I was quickly given a warning saying that my network was not up to the task. I quit out and reconfigured my streaming settings, putting a custom bitrate of 20 megabytes per second. I kept the adjust for poor network settings off, as 20 megabytes per second at 1080p was already pretty low. Booting up the game again, and this time I didn't get that same network warning. Nice. Although once in, I did get an odd warning from the game that said that my computer, meaning the cloud PC I was connected to, didn't have enough, quote, logical processors. Now, I'm on Nvidia's performance tier and have yet to ever come across something like this. I was worried for a second, but after pressing OK, the game booted up and all seemed to be normal. This might just be an Nvidia glitch, so if you're on one of GFN's paid tiers, I wouldn't pay this warning any mind. Once the game started, I was off, and to my surprise, everything was running somewhat smoothly. I definitely noticed some artifacting and visual noise, which is to be expected on such slow Wi-Fi, while also playing at a lower bitrate. There were some stutters too, though latency felt fairly low. Unfortunately, I could only play for a couple of minutes before GFN booted me out due to network failure. Clearly, even the 20 megabytes per second bitrate was asking too much from this quaint little juicery's terrible Wi-Fi. And so I went back and lowered the bitrate even more, now to a measly 15 megabits per second, while also locking the stream to 30 FPS. This provided to be a much smoother, albeit uglier experience. Even though I was able to play at 1080p and bump all the beautiful Unreal Engine 5 bells and whistles to ultra, including hardware lumen ray tracing, while still getting north of 30 FPS while outdoors and north of 50 FPS while indoors, the terrible artifacting and low bitrate made for a pretty mediocre visual experience. An experience that I would say took away from my enjoyment of the game. Playing such a beautiful remake of a classic RPG in such conditions is obviously not the way to go. And on that note, Virtuos have done an amazing job with Unreal Engine 5. Some of the lighting effects in this remake are gorgeous. Back to the point though, that's not to say you can't play this game via the cloud in public and on the G Cloud. You most certainly can. You just need to make sure that your coffee shop, or in this case juicery, doesn't have Wi-Fi rivaling late 90s era dial-up. As long as you're in a place where you're getting consistent speeds north of 35 to 40 megabytes per second, you should be good to go. Thank you so much for watching. I just want to make a really quick video on Oblivion running on the G Cloud via GeForce Now. And yeah, I have had a great experience so far. I played a couple more hours this morning. And obviously I'm at home and my network is much better than the one I was getting at the juicery. But it's been a really good experience. So, and GFN has come a long way. Even with lower Wi-Fi speeds, they are still able to output pretty steady performance on something like the G Cloud or any other device. So yeah, again, as long as you're getting consistent 35 to 40 megabits per second, preferably more, you're gonna be good to go. If you like videos like these, be sure to give me a like and subscribe. And if you want to see basketball content, head over to the Instagram. And if you want to see film and TV content, head over to the TikTok. And also all of my videos, whether they're short form or long form, they're all published as articles on pixel-switch.com. So if you're a reader and you want to read my work, then go check out our site. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.